Hey, everybody, my divine sisters in our sacred society. I decided and thought at the same time that I was going to go live today and tell you about my amazing experience that I had with this fucking badass psychic that I was guided to. So I went to, hi everyone, hi Nicole. So I'm talking about past lives and how important they are. Hey Shay. This is so awesome, this story. I can't wait to share it with you. I've been like thinking in my mind like, oh, I can't wait to share it. So I had to get to a point where I was in my driveway and that I could sit here and tell you this awesome story about past lives, because it's literally the most amazing thing. Also, having past lives unlocked for myself has literally transformed my life in so many ways. So I wanted to share with you today, and also how beautiful it is. Hi Beverly, I was thinking about you earlier. Hi Anne, hi Heather. So I have the most amazing story. So you know how I am with past lives, with psychics. I love going to psychics. I just love it. I scour the world for psychics. I'm just kidding. They all come to me. I always get referrals, like people will say, oh, I found the best psychic, and then they'll tell me their story, and the psychic was 100% right, and I'm like, oh my god, I have to go and see this person. So I don't know if any of you know Tiffany Campbell, but Tiffany Campbell is in our group, and she does automatic writing. So Tiffany channels through writing, and she is literally so amazing, and she discovered she had that gift in my last course, Creating Your Life by Design. So she would do angelic channeling for people through writing with letters. And so this is how it started. Every single time that I've gone to see a psychic, they always say to me, hey Melissa, hey Lily, hi Savannah. They always say to me, there's a strong male figure with you. You have a strong male figure with you. And I never know who it is. So at first I just was thinking it was Archangel Michael. Well, the last time when I went to see Corrine, the psychic that I had an interview with before, she said that too. She was like, there's a strong male figure with you. He's like from Florida. He used to write newspaper articles, all this stuff. And I was just like, who is this man who just is always with me, who's always been with me throughout my life? So I was talking to Kaylee. Kaylee's my daughter. I was talking to Kaylee about it. And Savannah, love Tiffany, I know. I was talking to Kaylee about it, and I was like, I really wish that I knew his name. Like, he's always with me. I feel him around. We like see his orb. Like, we just know he's there. I'm like, he has to be one of my guides, something like that. Well, then Tiffany sent me a message a little bit after I was talking to Kaylee about this. So as I get on my phone, there's this message from, hi Tamra. There's this message from Tiffany, and Tiffany says, she's like, Rendina, I just sat down to tell you how grateful I was for you, to write out how grateful I was for you and finding your group and doing your course, and how much it's changed my life and how much I love you and how much of a light you are in this world. And she was like, and this guide wanted to come through and give you a message. So I hope you don't mind. I'm just gonna write out what it was. So she goes on telling me about this man who has been with me since before my birth, who is also part of the collective, who is watching over me, who's part of my lineage, who's part of my ancestry. Hi Donna, I was thinking about you earlier too. Who's part of my ancestry, and he has been with me since before my birth, and that I have this amazing light that I influence people with, and I'm influencing people I don't even know that I'm influencing, right? Because it was kind of like, I was wondering in my mind, and this is why I wanted to go see this psychic too, because I'm like, I know I'm like compelled to do this work. I know I'm compelled to be this feminine rise, to heal my own wounds so that I can help other people and all the other people that I've helped through. And so I have this impulse, this drive within me to do this. And I remember Wayne Dyer talking about his drive to bring love back to the planet, and he didn't understand why. And so he went to have a past life reading with Mira Kelley, which Mira Kelley is, this is how I discovered her, through Wayne Dyer. That's why I brought her in my course, because she does past lives. She's so fucking awesome. So he talks about Mira Kelley and how he had this past life regression with her, and when he had it, he was in a cave, and he was like one of the people that had become so enlightened. He was just in this cave, and he was like writing about love, and that was his mission, was to bring love on the planet, even in that lifetime. So that's why he felt so compelled, because in that lifetime he grew up as a little boy, like just terrified, and everybody was killing each each other because it was over in the Middle East, and he was like trying to tell everyone to return to love, and people weren't listening. They were just massacring each other. So he keeps incarnating in life through life to bring love to the planet. What does he talk about? Divine love. That's what he talks about. So he wanted to know why he was so compelled to do it. So when he did that reading and he had that session with Mira Kelley, he discovered why he was so compelled to do it. So I wanted to know why I was so compelled to do it. Like, of all the things in the world that I could have chosen, why am I so compelled to do this? Other than my mom's story, like, yeah, it all makes sense, but I really wanted to know in my heart. So then with this guy, after Tiffany sends all that information to me, Kaylee and I are like, what is his name? Like, I just want to know what his name is, right? So then a few days passed, and I was like, oh my gosh, we should make an appointment with Chris, because she heard about Chris through one of her friends, who is also one of my best friend's employees, who went to him, and everybody who's gone to him, and he was 100% accurate, told the story, and I was like, just felt compelled, we need to go to him. So I texted him, and I don't know who he was. All I had was his phone number, a 714 number. I didn't even know his name at that point. So I just texted him and asked him if he had anything open. Hi, Emily. And he said he had just happened to have Saturday open, and he had 2 appointments back to back. So I was like, oh my gosh, let's go. So we drove up to LA. It was about 2.5 hours from my house because it was in Brea. And so we're in LA. And then we go and we sit down, and it was me that went first. And right when I sat down, he was like, okay, he goes, and this is also amazing how you can know, because before I'll even listen to anything any psychic says, because I've been to some who were just so amazing, and I've also been to some who were like kind of gypsy-ish and weird. So I would always sit there and I will listen to make sure that they're accurate. I'll feel their energy to see where they are and what kind of information they're going to give me, because remember, we're still channeling source through our filters, so it can still have a human construct. So when you go to a psychic or whatever, make sure that you're listening with your heart and knowing what they're saying, if it's coming from spirit or their human perception, because they flip back and forth. We all do. So then when I'm sitting there and he's like, oh, he goes, September, something in September, and then he goes, oh, April. He's like, girl, you're going to have a celebration in April. You're going to have like a major celebration, not one celebration, but 2 celebrations. And he was like, there's something going on. And then it's going to be like a week-long thing. And I didn't tell him anything because I just wanted to see how legit he was. Well, my 40th birthday is in April. It's the beginning of April, and that's when this is apparently happening. And then he was like, September. And he goes, they want me to ask you, how was Vegas? And then I was just like, because I literally just took my daughter to Vegas in September for her 21st birthday. So then I was like, okay, these 2 points, I know he's legit. And he's like, you have a strong male presence with you. He follows you. He's some type of lineage. He's from some part of your family, like the beginning of it. He's been with you since before you were born. His name is Charles. And I was just like, oh my God. And then he's like, Charles helps you with money, right? Like Charles. And I was like, oh, hey, what up, Charles? So that was really funny. But then the reason that I went to him, like I said, was to find out why I was so compelled with this. This man, I didn't tell this guy, this psychic, anything that I did. I told him nothing about me. Only gave him my first name and Kaylee's first name, and that was it. And that was like the day before we were going. So when I'm there, and he's like, they're showing me this lifetime of you looking at a moon, like you're talking to a moon, you're talking to the moon. And he looks at me, he's like, did you know you were a witch? And then I said, yeah, I kind of had the feeling. Corinne said that too. And then he goes, but the media puts all this weird stuff on witch, like bad witch and all that. He's like, that's not the kind of witch you are. You like made potions for people. You made potions for people and remedies, and like you gave them spells for healing, and they would come to you in secret. And he goes, and it was like during the really heavy religious times. He's like, you've had a lot of lifetimes as a female. You've been a couple times a male, but most every lifetime has been a female. And then he's talking to himself, and he's like, it's almost like you needed to come through and be a female, and so that you could understand the female condition, so that you could change it or something. He's like, why would your soul choose to be a female in dark religious times when women were so suppressed? And I'm just like kind of chuckling at this point, you know? And so I'm like, well, I mean, I didn't want to tell him what I did yet. So he keeps going. He's like, okay, he's like, you work from home right now, right? And I was like, yeah, I work from home. And then, hi, Michelle. And then he goes, okay, well, that's going to be changing. He's like, something's going to happen, and it's going to go from like night to day, and it's going to be a shock to your system. You're going from like, he's like, I see you on a stage with a microphone, and you're talking to a large crowd. Like there's a lot of people there, and you're telling them your personal story. You're like sharing your personal stories or something. And he's like, it's like all women. And so I was like, started laughing about it, you know, and I was like, that's literally what I have on my vision board. That's one of my desires and all these things. And so he was, and then he's like, okay, he goes, they're showing me that you have a green thumb, which green thumb means everything you touch turns to gold. And that you are not only helping your life, but you're also helping a lot of other people's lives turn to gold too. And he looks at, and he's like, girl, I need you to help me. Like, can you come help me? And he goes, and they also showed me in that lifetime that you were like, you knew how to move energy. Like, you moved energy, like you knew how to, it's like, what do they call that? Like manifesting? And I was like, yeah, he's all, you needed that lifetime to know how to do that for this lifetime. And so I'm just like, okay. He's like, I need to know, what is it? What do you do? And so I told him, I was like, I help a lot of women, you know, heal their soul so that they can go through, well, not their soul is obviously already healed, but their human self, so they can connect with their soul and then awaken. And he goes, oh my gosh, it's so crazy. Like, he couldn't even believe it. And then he was like, you're going to be going on a trip also. And then he's like, Austin, Texas, Austin, sister. And then he's like, is that anything? I said, my sister lives in Austin, Texas. And he was like, okay, you're going to be going to visit her. So it was like all these things were just so accurate and on point, and I got my answer. I got what I needed. It was like the most beautiful thing. And I've had two really amazing past life experiences in my life. The first one was with Mira Kelley. When I first started all this work, I was like going back and forth between, you know, you've seen in my previous videos when I was talking about how the healers have this mentality that they shouldn't make money. Like, we've been conditioned to believe that we shouldn't make money. Women shouldn't make money. We shouldn't be, you know, all this. If we have money, like, we're bad and greedy and all this stuff. Well, I didn't want to live like that anymore. I knew I needed to make a lot of money doing what I'm doing so that I could help a lot of people. Because the truth is, the more money you have, the more influence you have, right? Like, you can influence politics when you have wealth. You can donate to charities who are trying to dissolve the refugee children from living on the streets in Paris. I mean, all these things that you can do when you have wealth. And I knew I needed to, but I was blocking myself. I wasn't allowing myself to have it. I kept limiting myself. So when I went and had a past life reading with Mira, I had a past life where I had a vision of a little girl who was wounded, who was in a concentration camp, and then on the other side of it was a woman who was me, who was going to train, who boarded a train, but she wanted to bring the little girl with her, but she couldn't bring the little girl with her, and she was so sad. This little girl was like in poverty, and so she wanted to take the one little girl, but then she couldn't, because the man that she was with like pulled her. And you're kind of watching it when you're having a past life experience. Sometimes you're living it, most times you're like observing it. I'm actually bringing Mira Kelley on in here to teach a class at I think it's like the 19th or something of November, so that she can explain it to you fully in the way that she explains it and scientifically. Like, I can only tell you from the experience that I had, and I know other people that were with me that had different experiences there too, that also like were in it and that relived it. But here's the thing, when you unlock that, it shifts something inside of you. You just become another person. So in that lifetime, I was struggling, and then the woman was like, oh, I can use my wealth to help this, right? Hi, Emily Chills. I know I said hi already, but we were talking about this the other day, so like brought you back. So I could use my wealth to shift this. So she got on the train to go and do what she needed to do so she could like heal the concentration camp thing. So that's the first experience. So I realized in my mind, it really is good to have money, and before I was withholding and now I'm not. So it was like a really, really good, amazing thing for that. Then when I'm talking about how it unlocks things for you, and then going to this psychic and having the connection to that past life experience, now I know what I'm doing. Now I know that when the women come to me and they're saying, I had a dream about you, or I know you from somewhere, your name kept popping up, or like, I feel like you're my soul sister, that it really is true, that I really was helping probably those same women in that lifetime too. And like, here we are to come back and do it again. So it's just so beautiful and amazing, and it just gave me such a stronger conviction in what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So when you have these limitations in your life and you have these blocks, a lot of times it is related to a past life experience, and you need that past life. Like, I've lived thousands of lifetimes, and that one was the one that I needed to know about in this lifetime, because that one it's helping me in this lifetime do what I came here to do. I mean, I incarnated during religious feminine suppression so many times. I learned manifesting and energy and all of that through using potions and helping people that were sick come back to health. They would come to me in secret, which would make sense why I was scared to go out in the stage of the world, why I wanted to stay hidden, because before I probably died for doing that. They probably found out who I was and I died or something. So that lifetime, that experience was hindering me until I unlocked it, and it was like, oh, okay. Then it gives you such a strong conscious connection to your guides and to that spiritual power that is there, that is helping you, right? You hear Abraham say even, like you don't want to go back to past lives and dig. Like, that's not what we're using past lives for. What we use past life for is to unlock. And in that case, it is the most beautiful thing. If you've ever read any of Dr. Brian Weiss's work, you will understand past lives to such a crazy degree that you would never question it. He has all the scientific proof you need. I mean, thousands and thousands of scientific cases of research that were studied. Like, this is real. And so when I had those past life experiences and when it was unlocked for me, I was able to move and move and move. And I know that everybody that was with me and everybody that has experienced this, even when we were in Hawaii and Mira Kelley did this for us, it's like unlocking so that you can then go forward and be free of these things. Like, it's not always going to be past life. Sometimes it's conditioning in this life. A lot of times it is past life experience. This is also why I'm bringing Mira Kelley into our group, into the course, The Rise of the Sacred Feminine. 3 sessions so that she can help us when we get to those sections about that. Because if you're a woman in this lifetime and if you have any desire to help other women, there is something to be found. There are treasures to be found within that another lifetime that you came that was preparing you for this one. And when you know that, when you have that concrete feeling within you and nobody can even sway you, you have this strong connection and this deep desire to do what you came here to do, and everything turns around for you. Hi, Zanny. She said, can't wait. I know. We're so lucky that she's coming in to do it. I mean, it's like such a beautiful thing and such a beautiful experience. So I highly recommend looking into it because it has really shifted my life. And it's like in one session, in one 45-minute session, you come out of it a completely different person with more understanding and more knowing, not only of who you are, but what you came here to do. And also what's limiting you so that you can move past it. I mean, we've all done this dance together. If there are people in your life that you feel you have a soul connection with, you are part of their soul group. Even Abraham talks about we come in soul clusters. Like, we came here at this point in time to do what we're doing, to be the part of this rise at this exact point in history. Like, you have to find out. You have to figure this out. There's a rhyme and a reason to every step you've ever taken, and every step in your life, there's a reason why you came here. And when you start to put this together and you figure it out, it's just like so fucking amazing. Like, so amazing. Hi, Bridget. So the bonuses start, she said, when does our class start? So the bonuses started already on 11/11. So if you haven't been in the portal, go in there, because I did the manifesting magic with angels and goddesses in there also. It's so amazing. It's like beautiful. So there's that ritual that's in there for you to do, and then also the Mother Earth, to get really connected with Mother Earth and your life on Earth. So do those. The actual course starts in December. So I do still have a couple of spots open if any of you are interested in it. I had to open it more for Corrine. So I do have a little bit left. If you are interested in it, go to randina.co and click on the Rise of the Sacred Feminine. Yeah, I know. I'm so excited. So excited. Like, it's literally what we're doing is, you know how I had you guys all do that future self letter, like how you wrote out of your future you and the qualities and characteristics that she had and what she exudes. So what we're doing is taking that and making it real within you over the duration of the year of this course. So it's all because the money, she has certain kind of money, so we're programming all of that in. She also has a way that she carries herself, so we're also going to program all of that in. Like, every single thing is going to be so that you can become that woman instantaneously, rather than having to go through all these life experiences and be molded into it if you ever make it. So it really, really is amazing. Lily, sign up. I know, it's so good, right? Like, it's already so good, we haven't even started. So do that if you feel called to it. Other than that, look up Dr. Brian Weiss. Even Dr. Bradley Nelson talks about different, like, past life experiences. Also, but Dr. Michael Newton, that's another good one. There's a book called Journey of Souls, and it is on YouTube. So you can type in Journey of Souls and start listening to it, and it's his literal sessions of his clients going into different lifetimes. It's really, really exciting. It really is, because then you have the answers. Then you're not just conditioned by society and what they told you was true and keep you in this mortal mind of just being here, living this life only. It's like, no, there's a much bigger story at play here, and when you figure it out, it's so amazing. So I love you. Janelle, what'd you say? Janelle, you're crazy. Let's see. I'm reading that now. Just started. You did, Jen? Oh my gosh, it's amazing. The one, listen to it on YouTube too, like, because it's him talking. So it's like, so, just explains so much. But Brian Weiss I love, like many soul, or what is it, one soul, many lives? One soul, many bodies, something like that. Anyways, it's so, so, so good. I love it. I love it. So great. So I love you all, and I hope that you have a beautiful day, beautiful night, and I'll see you later in the week. Bye.